DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, it's Sunday morning. Yeah, I'm on the deck. It's kind of cool, taking a coffee. And I was wondering this morning, I usually make my Sunday vlog. And where will I go? And I checked the time. It was late because we just went over to daylight savings time, which it actually it does make a difference. I mean, it's getting like, what is it? It's like 9 o'clock, so that would have been 8, and 8 is often the time when I end up vlogging, more or less. Kind of get up and go slow and whatever. It's on Sunday morning, and today, well, it's 9 o'clock, and you do feel it. Old man got up in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom, and I looked at the time, and it was 4 o'clock. I thought, oh, well, yeah, okay, my biological clock is still working right. It hasn't changed. It takes a little while, but you all know that. Yeah, I don't remember. I thought that we all used to change in North America and Europe at one point at the same time, and I don't know. I guess at one point it changed or whatever. We're like usually like 2 weeks difference now, something like that. Oh, I was looking at my phone, and then there was a message of somebody. It was a tweet anyway. So from somebody from Ireland, actually. And I looked at it, and then you know how it is sometimes. There's like tweets around that are, just there. I was just going to say just there, because they're not people that I know. They're not people that even seem to be associated with any people that I know. So, but I started reading it because I don't know why. I just started reading it, and it was a lady who was saying, this is in England. I think it was in England. Yeah, she was out bird watching, and at one point, I don't know, she was writing her notes, something like that. And somebody came over, and it was a man, and started chatting with her. And she said, well, I saw, a red kite, or I don't know. Anyway, she mentioned the bird that she saw, and she pointed like in which direction she saw it. And the guy said, no, that's not, no, you're wrong, that's not such and such, those are buzzards or something over there. I'm just getting any name. I have no idea. And he said, no, the red kites or whatever were in the other direction. So she said, well, I just kind of took what he was saying and continued writing and let him go off. And I kept on looking at the birds. And she said, I guess they must have been close to the parking or something. And he went back to his car, into his parking, and kind of like his parked car, and stayed there and kept watching her or something like that. Now, there was a big feed after that. He wasn't stalking her, from what I could understand in the original one, but there was a whole big Twitter feed on mansplaining. Now, immediately, one person said, well, it's clear that he was doing some mansplaining and it was sexist. Then there was another person who cheaped in. That's pretty good, talking about birds. Yeah, another person who came in and said, well, it doesn't mean that every time that a man says something to a woman that it's going to be mansplaining, or it doesn't also mean that it's going to be sexism. Then, of course, another one came in and says, maybe not, but it is most of the time. Then it kind of got away between mansplaining, sexism, why have you blocked me, I can't read your comment, you've blocked me, and so on. And it didn't take very long. It didn't take very long where this original comment went into, I was almost going to say, into a full-blown Twitter war And you realize that actually these were like people that didn't really know each other. A few did. A few seemed to know each other, but most of them were probably, connected in one way or another to these people, or they were like myself, because I didn't know any of the people that were there. So these were open tweets, that were not, they were open. They were public. So I guess, anybody could just go in and get into the fight. But that was interesting, and you kind of felt like, okay, this medium, so Twitter, this medium, is just promotes the fight, doesn't it? Very quickly. I know that you can. People say, no, well, you give your opinion and so on, and that is true. That is true, and it's good to have a place that you can throw out things there instantly and quickly. But I've been reading things that happened this week, which I won't mention actually, because maybe a bot will already say, oh, I saw the word Twitter or saw something else. But accounts that had been closed, because people were talking about biology or stuff like that, or people were not wanting to define things in biology. And I thought, like, okay, very, very quickly over there, things get into a fight, but people want to. They get into a scrap, and they just love it. They just like to go for people. And sometimes I realize, how we used to say things. People will say you have to think really hard now before you write something down, because writing stays. So you might as well just say it. But then again, if you realize that with YouTube you can't even just say it anymore, and I don't mean just YouTube, but when you're on video, because they've got bots now that'll analyze what you're saying. But the written word or the videographed word stays. Yeah, it does. I was in a rather unhealthy culture once at work, where we were told that whenever anything was controversial, we should never reply by mail. We should phone, but if possible, actually, eye-to-eye contact with no witnesses. People were, into that paranoia about, the written word stays, we'll bring it against you, and so on. And if it's my word against yours with no witnesses, well, you're free. You'll get by, and so on. Yeah. I don't know. Have you had any situations like that? I've had one. Quite a few years back, actually, on YouTube, where things that I had said had been misinterpreted, and I had been blocked, and I never really found out why. I tried to find out by a few other people, and they actually didn't understand either. So, yeah, it was no great deal, I have to admit. But what I did find out, though, in my early days of YouTube, is that people were on YouTube then, and we all had fake names. I mean, Dagocleo, of course, is not my real name, in case you thought it was. Oh, goodness, a whole bunch of birds over there. Yeah. But people wanted to stay anonymous. I mean, and now actually it's the other way around. You're having more and more trouble actually using a pseudonym or something on the social media. I think like Facebook has accepted that my name is dagocleo. Must be some strange foreign name of some type. But anyway, I'm digressing, but I'm just saying is that it seems, although we have to say is that even when we were in the early days of our YouTube, where am I, 9 minutes, there was a lot of, give and take. People, we've talked about this before, people love social media of all type, to become high, mighty, and mean. And, a lot of people are using it as a platform, I guess. Most people are, I guess. Anyway, tell me, what do you think? Have you had situations like that, or have you ended up, reading things on Twitter and saying, oh my goodness, how quickly did that pan out, Anyway, DC signing off. Take care, everybody, for this Sunday morning vlog.